Welcome to another episode of Home Sweet Home. My name is Rod McCall.
And I'm Scott Nichols.
Are you feeling pretty happy?
Yeah, I am actually.
Big question that always pops up. And, they were talking about this as soon as Halloween was over. When do you start playing Christmas music?
So I never start playing Christmas music myself, but my wife definitely does.
Okay.
And it's already playing.
Well, sure. I mean, here we are. It's after Thanksgiving.
This started before Thanksgiving. So.
Okay, that's where I was going. As to, putting on Christmas music, do you put it up as soon as Halloween is over? Do you wait till Thanksgiving?
So our tradition in our house, we put up our tree the day after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
We have that day off. Mm-hmm. And so that's the day that we kind of transition all of our decorations and all the things to, something that is Christmassy.
Sure.
So it's a tradition of ours because we have the kids come over and they do the decorating. I actually just sit and watch it.
Right. Which you've shared before.
I love that. Yeah, that's my favorite thing in the world.
Yes. I mean, the reason why I ask is because I love Christmas music. I love putting up decorations. And this year's been a lot different than normal. We had new windows put in through the whole house, and they started Monday after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And they were there Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Nice.
So normally we would have had the tree already up. We would have had a bunch of decorations. Instead, we're still cleaning up from the chaos because you have any idea how much crap you actually put in front of windows?
Yes.
So I had to clear all the space for all the windows, the sliding glass doors. I mean, it was a little more involved than I anticipated.
Right.
So putting up Christmas decorations has been a little bit delayed and a little bit more chaotic than we used to. And I keep thinking, okay, here's the deal. I love Christmas music. I love the decorations. It really has a positive influence on making me feel a little bit happier, a little more joyful, more like the person I want to be.
Absolutely. That's why we put them up early.
Oh, sure. But then it's kind of like, well, what happens if you don't feel it? What happens if everybody around you is, oh, happy, joyful, merry, 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 Merry Christmas and all that other stuff. And you're going, bah humbug, kiss my butt.
So I never did that, but I definitely have at times felt, kind of bluesy about Christmas.
Okay.
Definitely. Right. Like at earlier times in my life when I had money was more stressful.
Okay.
You're worried about buying presents for the kids or the friends or the family, or you get a gift from somebody and you want to make sure you have a reciprocal gift because you feel kind of bad, that if you can't do it. So I do think that there's some pressures that definitely can drive some negative thoughts.
Well, and I think back to are you faking it till you make it? Because what if you grew up in a family? Now, I was blessed, and I never realized just how blessed I was. I had a good family upbringing.
Sure.
Strong family connections, strong family traditions, there was a lot of love in our house. But what if you grew up in a family that didn't? What if Christmas was chaotic? What if Christmas was anything but happy? Well, here you are as an adult. You're trying to be happy, but it generates lots of negative memories.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember going through the divorce and I had to spend Christmas without Eric. And it was kind of hard to be
That's gotta
happy.
Be hard.
And then the first year after he passed away, it was kind of like, screw Christmas. And so if you are dealing with, past issues, past trauma, whether or whatever it might be, or maybe you got laid off last week.
Right.
And now you're going, how the hell am I going to have a merry freaking Christmas when I don't have a job? I don't know where my house payment or rent payment is going to come from.
Sure.
And so it's kind of like all these different things keep popping up. How do you deal with all this when everybody around you says, well, you need to be happy, you need to be merry, it needs to be the most wonderful time of the year?
Yeah.
I don't know. And so, I mean, I thought maybe we could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. We are talking about it.
Oh, well, okay. Sorry. That was my thoughts for topic of today is how do you deal with, or how do you process trying to be happy when you don't actually feel happy? And so that's why I'm saying, you go back in time and you look at, okay, what do you do if Christmas was chaotic at your house?
Right.
And,
I think this is a good question, right? Because I know that there's lots of people out there who are, just feel the joy. Well, what if you don't? Like, how do you get yourself in a joyful mood if you are not feeling it?
Well, I think part of it comes from recognizing that you're not feeling what everybody else is expressing. You're not feeling what you believe you should.
Right.
And so if you go, okay,
yeah,
I'm not feeling it, why? And so I think the first thing would be to explore, why do you feel this way?
Yeah.
And kind of go back, okay, well, how long have you been feeling this? Is this the first time you feel it, or have you felt it like this for years? I mean, does Christmas always bring up negative memories? Because if it does, well, then maybe that was something that happened in your childhood. Maybe Christmas wasn't happy at your house.
So in other words, is it just like situational to the time frame right now, or is this something deeper?
Well, yeah.
In your life?
I mean, my grandfather passed away 3 days after Christmas, 4 days after Christmas. Now, it's been many years ago, but he passed away after Christmas, and he says, I'm not going to die because his grandfather, or his dad, I think it was his dad, passed away on Christmas Day.
That's rough.
And that's what he said. And it ruined Christmas, and Christmas Day always brought back the memory of that loss.
Yeah.
And so, again, this is where I'm saying, when did you start feeling this way? And so part of that comes from, again, recognizing it and tracing it back.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out, okay, let's face it, let's talk about it. I mean, if you don't have a therapist, find one. But more importantly, even if that's not a possibility, talk to somebody, talk to a family member.
Yeah.
Talk to your spouse, significant other, whatever it might be, to kind of address whatever that might have been. So, because I guess this brings back, and we did a podcast on it, the body keeps score.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I've used that in talking with a lot of my clients.
Yeah.
In regards to its impact.
It's a phenomenal book.
Oh, absolutely. And I guess what I like about it is I can truly relate to it. Yeah. And I can relate to it in that, okay, again, address it. Because talk about not only maybe you just never really liked Christmas, maybe Christmas time generates just so much stress because you want everybody to have the perfect Christmas.
Right.
And so are we trying to overcompensate?
I mean, good question.
Because it's kind of like, when you're overstressed, when you're worried about, well, I got to do all the baking. Well, I got to buy all these gifts. I've got to wrap. I've got to do this. I got to do that. The decorations aren't up. I got to plan the Christmas party. All that stuff. And I watch my wife do this all the time.
Yeah.
And it feels like if you're overly stressed about it, are you overthinking it? But then, of course, she doesn't sleep. And so, again, it's part of that body keeps score thing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's again, I come back to
how do we get out of it, though?
Well, part of it is, again, it goes I'm a firm believer that if you recognize it, you name it, you're halfway there.
Yeah.
So if you recognize that your body is communicating to you, then take an off, just, what, if it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. Or more, if this is possible, delegate.
Yeah, I agree. I know that oftentimes stress takes its toll, right, in this kind of thing, and that's what brings people down. Mm-hmm. And I think that I've talked to people who have a lot of stress and they have a lot of things to do, and it's like you're never going to get all those things done. Mm-hmm. So let something go. And they're like, but I can't. Like, but it's going to happen. Right. So here you are worrying about something that inevitably is going to happen anyways. Why worry about it?
And that's, I don't know. I guess I have a different perspective because I'm with you. And I think of my wife, and I got to make these cookies. Well, I got to make this bread. I got to bake this. I've got to do this. I got to do that. And I just go, well, so what? Let me help, or let me do it. And then don't complain about the way I do it, but let me do it. Let me help.
Yeah, but you just want to go down to the local bakery and buy the stuff.
Well, if I knew a good bakery, yes. But I mean, it's one of those things of, you know what, let's just live right now.
Right.
Let's take care of right now. Be mindful. Why are we doing this? What's the whole point of this? And if the whole point is to create, to celebrate a good holiday, well, okay, but how are you doing that for yourself? You're giving everything you've got to everybody else, and you're saving nothing for you.
Right.
And so how can you be happy and enjoy the holiday season if you're just so wrapped up in, I got to do.
And in everything, right? Like, you have to chunk it out. You have to say, here's the list of the things I've got to do. Now I'm only going to focus on the thing I'm going to do right now.
Yeah.
And when that gets done, then you can grab another thing off the list. I mean, that's all you can do. Mm-hmm. There's only so many hours in the day. There's only so much life that's happening. Mm-hmm. So, you have to consider that. It's just, you can't do everything. And so you either got to get somebody else to help, or you got to get more efficient in how you do it. And the way that I found to be more efficient is to stop focusing on all the things I have to do and just focus on the one thing I'm going to do right now.
Yes. And that's, and to go build on that, when you do, listen to your body. And don't assume that is a, bad reaction. Just understand that it's your body communicating to you. And what do you need right now? Well, I need sleep. I need rest. Maybe I need some space from everybody. And so, okay, fine. Go take a little time for yourself.
Right.
I'll run things here at the house. I'll take care of the kids. I'll do whatever I need to do. If you need, maybe just go shopping by yourself. And if that, or go do yoga if that's your thing, or work out if that's your thing, or go get a massage if that's your thing.
You got to do something that's about you, and that's important. For me, typically what I do, like if I'm stressed during my working time in the school year, I take a day off. Mm-hmm. You got to have a mental health day every now and then. And sometimes when I do that, I actually work on like my actual job still. Mm-hmm. Which sounds counterproductive, but it's actually easier for me to do that work on my time at my pace without the interruptions. And I also get other things done at home. Like, I might do the laundry while I'm also, I'm taking breaks and I'm doing things, and I go out to lunch or do the things that I can't always do when I'm in my regular working day. I think a mental health day from your job, if you're able to do that, is really good, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And especially during a holiday season, because it's pretty stressful.
Well, totally. And I guess a lot of it is we put it on ourselves. We want it to be perfect. Mm-hmm. And if it's anything less than our version of perfect, it's an epic fail. And it's kind of like, well, no, it's not an epic fail. I mean, who's judging you? You're judging you. Well, stop.
Right.
Okay, maybe that's easier said than done, but look, a lot of times we're our own worst critic.
Yeah.
And so lower those expectations and go, look, we're going to have a good Christmas. Are we going to have a nice meal to eat together? Yes. Are we going to play a game? Are we going to have music that, celebrates the season? Yes. Are we going to have decorations? Right. Yes. Are we going to have a gift exchange? Yes.
Yeah.
Then that should be good enough.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't get done, if it doesn't get baked, if it doesn't get cooked, is it the end of the world? No.
I mean, that depends on who it's important to, right? But ultimately, no, I don't think it's that big a deal.
Well, I mean, the world will go on. Life will continue.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants it, well, then they can step up and do it.
Also, I certainly don't need to eat that much.
Well, true. Very true.
it's nice to have snacks around the house.
Oh, sure. And I mean,
But yeah, I mean, you can't do everything, and it can't be perfect, and it doesn't need to be, right? Like if it's relaxing to me, that's my wife is always like, why don't you put something on the tree? Like get up and do it. Put something on the tree. That's not me. That's not what I'm looking for. I will put one thing on the tree, but I just want to sit back and enjoy my kids and now my grandchild putting things on the tree. And that's what I like. And so I'm going to sit back and do that. When I go shopping, I do a lot of my shopping online. So like when I go shopping, I'm just looking for random special things, that might be good for gifts. And so I'm much more relaxed when I shop, I mean, it's a relaxing thing for me. I also like to people watch.
Yes.
I try to make it so that like I'm enjoying it the way I want to enjoy it. And now maybe for Sherry, like that's how she enjoys it, right?
I think yes, but I think I see it from a different perspective.
Right.
And I feel like when you start prioritizing somebody else's comfort over your own, then are we missing something else? Are we, I mean, I understand it's a season of giving, and I'm all in for that.
Sure.
But when it's everybody else before ourselves, well, if you don't engage in a little bit of self-care, how can you be there for them?
Yeah, I agree.
And so, I mean, again, I just am a firm believer that we've got to take care of ourselves. Like you're saying, a mental health day or something, because otherwise you're going to burn out and you're going to be exhausted and you miss the joy and the fun that the holidays can bring.
Yeah.
Because it's all about stress. And then, of course, you start feeling guilt, and then you have that burnout and that disconnection from everything. You're going, God, can it just be over? And in which case, you've totally blown through a wonderful time of recharging because you're worried about everybody else and you forgot about yourself.
Yeah, I would agree.
And so I guess when you're saying, well, what can we do about it? Well, is it an illusion of joy that you have to provide? And if you go, well, I don't know, think about it then. How much of what you're trying to create is your illusion? And if it's too much of an illusion, then let's come back to something more real. Yeah. And how about we prioritize our presence over our performance?
So just being present for the people around you is what you're saying?
I think so. I mean, live in the moment, be there and be present, engage. We've been exploring some possibilities of some different games instead, because all the kids aren't kids really anymore. The youngest ones are sixth graders. And so gift exchange, we don't need to be spending literally thousands of dollars on gift exchange for a bunch of adults.
Sure.
These are people that are working. These are people that are out of high school, out of college. You know what? We don't need to be treating them like they were, 5 and 6 and 7 anymore.
Sure.
So the general consensus is, well, let's play some games. Well, we tried that a little bit last year. Didn't go as well. So we're looking at, okay, what else can we do? Let's get some engagement. Let's get some involvement so that we can enjoy family time. And it's not all about spending a lot of money. Because
do one of those gift-giving games where you have a maximum $20 and you have some fun with it.
Which we tried last year that almost none of them had ever done a white elephant exchange. And so it didn't go very well. I've been seeing some stuff on some Facebook reels about different Christmas activity games. And so we're exploring that.
Just tell them this year you're going to do a Yankee swap.
I don't know what a Yankee swap is.
I mean, it's the same thing as a white elephant, but it has a different name. So they might.
I also heard it called Dirty Santa.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Given that you're all adults, you might be able to do that.
Well, maybe. Well, I don't know. You still got some kids. But I think part of it is, again, exploring, what do you name your experience?
Yes.
All right. Accept that your holiday feelings can and may be different from what other people are experiencing and feeling. Because once you do that, once you give it a name, it brings relief.
Mm-hmm.
because you're recognizing it, you're identifying it. And once that is the case, well, now you can own it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can own it, well, now you can move forward. And so I just find it, I find a lot of folks get so worn down. And I've watched Sherry do it year after year after year. And I'm going, where's your happiness? Where's your joy?
Yeah.
And I think we just, again, we get this belief that we have to be happy and we have to make it perfect for everybody so that everybody else has a great Christmas. Well, I get it. I would rather, I have more fun. Believe it or not.
Think like maybe rotate the hosting. Huh.
Well, God, that would be nice.
That would be excellent, right? Like our daughter hosts it typically, right? Because we don't have as much space, and she hosts it. So we just like show up, and we sit there, and my wife helps a little bit with dinner, but it's a pretty relaxing environment. I don't, my daughter's pretty chill, so
and
that's what I like.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to chill out for the day,
and I think that can. I think a lot depends on your family.
Mm-hmm.
Since we still have grandma with us, we are and grandma can't move very well or for very long.
Right.
We basically go where grandma is,
sure.
Which is everybody comes to our house. But I think that is true. And, we've done different things in the past to just, yes. I mean, I think part of too is being able to recognize too, what are our triggers? What are these triggers that cause us that stress and anxiety?
Yeah.
Possibly that depression. And again, go back to when did we first start feeling this way? Well, I felt it forever. Well, okay. Let's dig into that. I mean, okay, do you remember always feeling this way when you were 5 and 6? Were you always feeling this way when you were 18, 19? Were you always feeling this, we're in your late 20s,
right?
In your 30s, I mean, I'm finding it a little harder to have Christmas joy because there are fewer young kids.
Sure.
I have thoroughly loved Christmas because I always had, we had Eric. Before Eric, it was my nieces and nephews from my sister's kids. Then it was with my nieces and nephews from Sherry's side of the family. And so it's always been. But the last few years, they've just kind of, Santa Claus, what? No, he's fake.
Yeah.
And so the thrill, the joy, the excitement from the little kids isn't there. So we now got all these, older kids and adults. And so, you got to work a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
But recognizing what are these triggers that cause us to feel these negative feelings?
Yeah.
Where do they come from? And of course, I'm always a firm believer in writing, journaling.
Yeah, you've said that many times before, and I keep saying that I need to do that, and I still haven't. But
as I tell my clients, and I experienced this. I journaled for a long time. It gets it out of your head.
Sure.
And it's kind of like taking a burden off of your shoulders. You feel less anxious, less stressed, less angry, and you've got it down. And you can't always go see a therapist. And so journaling gives you that opportunity to talk to somebody because you're talking to yourself, but at the same time, you're writing it down or typing it, whatever.
I mean, you would think that I would practice this more. Much of teaching in high school is about reflective thinking, right? Metacognition,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So, and going through a full master's degree for education, like a lot of that is reflective writing. Journaling is nothing more than reflective writing. And, so I wonder why I don't do it. But it's probably because I'm worried about all these other things that I need to get done.
Well, and that's where when you're feeling these, these holiday blues, find some, set your boundaries.
Sure.
Find people that will respect your boundaries. Create or provide some emotional safety for yourself. Practice vulnerability to talk to trusted loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, have that person or people that you can kind of vent to. And because healing doesn't happen in isolation.
Yeah.
It does require a concerted effort and it requires help. And so you can find the happy holiday feeling.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I say, it's take opportunities to step back.
You're also probably not the only person in your group that feels that way. Mm-hmm. And, if you're the one doing all the work on some things, there's probably other people in the group that find just as much joy or passion in doing that same thing, and maybe you could do it together. Well, and then the workload is lower.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, so you got to spread it around a little bit, both the tasks and probably the joy in doing those tasks.
I think that God bless the Hallmark Channel and their Christmas movies 24/7, 365. Yeah. But I think they create.
Isn't there just one movie?
Well,
there's one plot
and 1,000 different versions. But here's the thing. Do they create an unrealistic expectation of what Christmas should be like? And if we have embedded in our minds that Christmas is supposed to be so magical and be this and be that, are we creating a false narrative that's creating a lot of our bluish feelings tied in with historical family issues, and suddenly, I hate Christmas, bah humbug. And it's kind of like, well, let's step back from that and recognize that Christmas is what we make it. And it's magical when we want it to, in our version of magical, not somebody else's.
And I think that's where the reflection that if you're journaling, that can help, because my wife does the journaling, and periodically she'll come see me and she'll go, you know what? I've been feeling so down about this, but I went back through my journal and there was this good thing, and there was this good thing, and there was this good thing. And she's like, it's really been a good year.
Okay.
And so if you're having a hard time finding those good things to reflect on, maybe you just need to reflect on them when they happen so that you can be reminded of it later, because we are so forgetful of the good things. Mm-hmm. We get drowned out by the negative, and that just bogs us down, and we forget what the good things were and how they made us feel. So I see that value in journaling. I just haven't done it yet, but it's definitely something that as you get towards the end of the year and you want to reflect on those good things, that's a great way to do it, and it makes you feel better in the moment.
That is so correct. I remember I had a principal once, and he says, look, we focus on the kids that are the problems. Well, they represent 2% of our student population. Let's focus instead on the 98% that are actually really good and create a good school environment. Well, I think that would fit pretty much for what you're saying. Yeah. In our lives, we have 98% good, great, and wonderful things. But we seem to focus on the 2% because it weighs us down, and maybe we're focusing on then the wrong things, right. And it's feeding that blue feeling. And you're right. Let's change our attitude. Let's change our perspective. Maybe. Sure. Maybe that's a better way. Not our attitude, but our perspective. Because if we change that, then are we changing then our view of what's going on?
Well, yeah. I think it reflecting on those things adjusts our emotional condition, and it changes the perspective, right? And we realize, the negative things aren't really that much. And then also, maybe all that extra work doesn't become, it's not as important anymore.
Yes.
To us. And if we miss something, if we don't get something done, oh well.
I think it just needs to come down to this, that we need to better understand that not everybody is happy during these holiday times. Sure. We try, we want to, but it's extremely hard. And so it's okay if you're not all bubbly and overflowing with Christmas joy.
Right.
All right. To avoid the bah humbug, just understand that it's okay if you're not 100%.
Oh, yeah.
And like I say, holidays are a good time for us to reflect. And sometimes those reflections can lead us to, some unhappy places in our past. But remember the love. It is those times, and the past doesn't have to define your present or predict your future. Mm-hmm. And so, we can heal by recognizing, by naming, and by having that concerted effort to address those things that make us feel less than happy. So that way, again, we can have that, celebrate and enjoy some of the joy that comes from the Christmas season.
Excellent.
So anyway, that's kind of a long-winded approach, but I like I say, I love Christmas. I love the joy that most people pretend to have. But I'm coming to understand that there's more pretend than true real.
Right.
And so focus on the good, remember the good, and maybe that'll help us. And just do what you can do, and don't worry about making your happiness dependent on other people's happiness.
Like the song says, don't worry, be happy.
All right. Well, that's all I got for today. So until next time, I'm Rod.
I'm Scott.
See ya.
Bye-bye.